back to another episode here on the G's Footage Garage. Today we're going to be working on installing a wideband on Boogieman, or should I say making my NGauge that's already installed on Boogieman read AFR, which is air-fuel ratio. Now AFR is very, very important because it determines whether your car is going to run good or not, or even, you know, blow up. So it's very important to have an air-fuel ratio gauge. Like that you can kind of see what's going on. If something does happen, you know to stay off that gas pedal and get it fixed. Your AFR has 3 stages, which is your lean, your stowage, and your rich. So lean, obviously you don't have enough fuel. Your air to fuel ratio is more air than fuel, so you're lean, right? Not enough fuel, which is very dangerous. And 2, you have your stowage, which is just the right amount, and then you have rich, which is too much fuel. And too much fuel, like everything in life, when you have too much of it, sometimes it's not good, right? So the way we're gonna make my NGauge read AFR is by installing a Zt3. So you guys can see it here. There it goes. A Zt3 wideband air fuel ratio meter is a little gadget that basically has an O2 sensor and is gonna read how the fuel is being burnt and send it up to the NGauge. I bought this thinking that this is all you needed to hook up to the NGauge, but I was mistaken. You're actually going to have to order this little piece, this little wire. And this little wire is also by Zt3, but they sell it to you separately. But I guess it's because you could have different gauges or whatever. So that little gadget works with different gauges. So to hook up that little wideband reader to the NGauge, you're gonna need the NGauge connection cable to the Zt3, which is this guy. And I believe I paid about 20 bucks for this little wire, and it's nothing really special. I'm sure you guys who know about tech can probably go to your local store and buy it. I don't know much about tech, so I just ordered it. And basically this thing is gonna hook up to the data end of the box and up to the NGauge. So super easy, right? And let me lay this out on the table so you guys can see. Okay guys, so when you guys get your Zt3 wideband air fuel ratio meter, it's gonna come in a little box like this with another attachment here. I don't know what this is for. Maybe a different style gauge. Some instructions. I don't think we need them. Some little pamphlets. And to be honest with you guys, I think this is how you guys get it, because I bought this thing off the forums, and it was some guy bought it and he decided not to use it, so I picked it up like I do everything else at a bargain, and I think it was packaged well. So go ahead and lay this out for you guys. So basically you have your O2 sensor, which is going to read all the data. You're going to send it up through this wire here, and this little box is going to be mounted inside the car, which this is for data logging, by the way.
Alright guys, correction on Jose's part here. Those wires that he's about to yank out, that's actually what gives power to the Zt3. It's not for data logging. Just want to correct that, but Jose will correct himself later on during the video.
We're going to take it off. Which we're going to have this little guy here that's going to read the data, and this is going to go to our NGauge. So basically guys, this is all it takes to make your NGauge read AFR. Pretty simple, right? Now I do want to mention you do need a O2 bung welded onto your exhaust, and you're going to want to weld your O2 bung right after the header, somewhere really close, because you want that instant reading right there, right at the beginning. So I usually put them, you know, right after the headers. Before we get too ahead of ourselves, for those who don't know what an O2 bung is, it's basically a little pipe with threads in it, and they sell these on like Amazon, or if you go to your muffler shop and say, hey, I need an O2 bung welded, they usually just have them in stock, so you don't really have to worry about it. But here I have a couple here at home, so I'll show you what they look like. They have threads inside of it. There it goes. So they usually come as a kit with a little cap so you can plug them, something like this. But basically what they do is you make a hole on your exhaust, and then you drop this little guy in there, and then your muffler shop will simply weld around it, and then now you have a little door, right? To simplify it, totally unprepared and unrehearsed. So you have a little door where you're gonna screw in your oxygen sensor. So pretty simple, pretty neat. Lucky for me, I already installed one on Boogieman a long time ago, because I used to have an autometer wideband, but I have a little plug on there now because I sold that one, and now we're gonna make my NGauge read AFR. So let's jack up the car securely, guys. Remember, always put a jack stand, never go under a car without a jack stand. Okay guys, so I'm under the car right now, as you guys can see, and up there is the header. That's your primary L2, this is your rear L2, and right in between, that's where I welded the O2 bung. So I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew it, and let's put that sensor in there. Okay. Yeah. Damn. Damn. I almost gave up. Man, that was tough. Okay guys, so as you guys saw in this last clip, that thing was really hard to take off, and that's because with the heat it just seizes on there. I tried applying a little bit of heat on it, but I don't think I got it hot enough. Some ultra screw loose, tapping on it, making that screw loose penetrate in there, but it was just really hard to do. But it finally gave in. So you guys won't have that problem because you guys are gonna most likely have a new plug installed and it's not gonna be fused on there like mine is. But if they do put a plug, make sure they put never sees on there, because or else I think it's gonna be so hard to come off. I almost gave up. I almost went to the buffer shop and just had a new one welded, but I got it out. So so yeah, guys, as you guys saw in that last take, never give up. Never give up, because you will get it done like I got that plug out. Okay, so now on to installing our new O2 sensor that's gonna read all the information that we needed to and send it up to the Zt3. All you need is a 7/8 wrench. Mine's partially hacked up, but gets the job done. Oh man, it's a little tight for this one. It's a little bit longer than my other one. Should be okay. Alright. Okay guys, now that we have secured our new O2 sensor in place, it's time to run the O2 extension wire. And I have to admit, Zt3 did a really good job. This thing looks really nice. It looks like a really nice quality piece. So, just throwing it out there. Okay, so let's run this wire. Now, we have to be very careful how we run this wire, because we don't want it touching the header, we don't want it touching the steering column, and we're going down that path. So, it's going to be a sketchy one. So let's see how we can zip tie it away from any moving parts or extreme heat. Okay, so basically all I did was zip tie it up here. It has plenty of slack, so we're okay. And then I ran it up against where the primary O2 sensor runs up, away from the header, away from everything. So it should work, kind of like that. All right. Okay guys, so now we run the, see that down there? That's a sound tube hole. That's the one that used to be connected to the intake to give you the feel of going fast. So let's run our wire through there. Okay, so as you guys saw, it was a bit of a struggle, but we got the O2 extension routed up, away from the header, nicely zip tied away from any moving parts, up into the firewall, through the sound tube hole, and now it's inside the car. So time to hook up the Zt3 module and run it up to the NGauge. Okay, so this is the wire, the O2 extension wire that we ran from underneath the car. This is the one that's connected to our O2 sensor. Now, this one's gonna hook up to the Zt3 box, like this, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna find a nice spot under the dash for that. And remember, we're gonna run this little wire from the data spot all the way to the NGauge. Here's the NGauge. Now, the NGauge, I put it on an Aeroforce pod. It's for a smaller gauge, so it kind of hits my dashboard here. So I put a little bit of a double-sided sticky tape to kind of pitch it up, but that's something else. So basically you're gonna hook up this wire from here. Okay, we'll play with that right now. Now, to run this wire down, it's actually pretty simple. All you have to do is kind of just throw it in here pretty generously. And that's the easy part. The hard part, I'll tell you guys right now what the hard part is. Hard part is having to do this. I need some light.
Oh, there he is.
Alright. Okay. I was not successful. I did not retrieve the wire. I'm gonna go grab a long screwdriver and use it as a fish hook. One thing I would like to mention is that here on the Juice Footage channel, we're totally unprepared and unrehearsed. So what you see is genuinely what we're doing. We hardly look at instructions. We just kind of come out here and do it. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape and see if I could fish it down there. So like I said, this is the hard part, getting it on the bottom. Alright, that didn't work.
Fail number 2.
Let's try to do it again. Alright, let's see. Okay, like I said, that's the easy part. This is the hard part. See? I told you.
And he gets it.
See, sometimes you get lucky. Okay, so now to put this guy back on here. Okay guys, remember this little box here that I said, oh, it's for data logging, don't worry about it. And this is for data logging, by the way. We're gonna take it off. Actually, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I confused it with something else. But this is actually the one we need to connect for power to the Zt3. So, yeah. Let's hook up power and ground to this thing. You only have to hook up the red and the black. That's it. Yeah, I made a mistake, guys. That little plug is actually our power source. You're going to want to use the positive and the ground. And you're going to want to hook up your red wire, which is your power wire, to switch power. So I have a test light here, and I'm going to check for switch power. So you guys can see I have 2 wires already here. So basically, when I used to have my old AFR up here, I got power from the cigarette lighter, which is switch power. So I kind of left them here. Good thing, because now it's going to power our Zt3. So let's check for switch power. Okay, so you guys can see here, we have no power. Turn on the car, we have power. Turn off the car, we don't have power. So that's our switch power. Okay, let's hook up our power. Now on this one, you don't have to put a fuse, or at least I'm not going to put a fuse, because the Zt3 has a built-in fuse that resets itself. So that's pretty neat. Data logger. Man, I must be really tired. What happens, guys, when you overdo it, start making mistakes. Now we hook up the ground. And if you notice, both of these wires are green, because when I wired my old AFR, I only had a green wire. So, ay. The struggle is real. But my car's supercharged. Something my brother will say. It works. Oh man, that thing quickly goes lean. So that concludes another episode here on the G-Splitters channel. We successfully installed a Zt3 wideband to work with our NGauge, and it looked pretty good, as you guys saw. It kind of kicked my butt a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm just tired, but it was a little bit of a wrestle to get those wires from the NGauge, to get that little wire from the NGauge to the under the dashboard, and just wrestling with all the excess wires that Zt3 sends you. Like, I mean, they send you so much O2 sensor extension wire that it's insane. Like, I had to like wrap it in a roll and kind of tuck it away under the dash. So they send you quite a bit of O2 sensor wire. Not a bad thing, I guess, but it makes it a little difficult, especially in tight spaces like the Camaro that you have to be on your back. But that was one of the hardest parts, and I totally had a brain fart and thought that the power source, the power plug, was a data logger plug for some reason. I don't know. I think I was thinking about the HP tuners or something. I don't know what I was thinking, but that was actually our power source. But we figured it out, and it works. It's done, and it's ready for the dyno. So catch you guys after the dyno, or on the dyno.